Good morning. This is Craig Jameson coming to you again from Sales Results LLC in Boise, Idaho. And this morning what I wanted to do is I wanted to give you a quick overview of the first of what will be many integrations to come of third-party applications with Nimble Social CRM. And the first integration that is now available is a product called Wufoo. So what is Wufoo? Well, if you got a website, and I've got a couple of them, you have a method typically on your site where people can reach out and they can contact you. I mean, maybe you've got your phone number, maybe you got your email. I also have contact forms on my website where people can go in, they can give me their basic information, their name, their email address, their company name, etc. And then it will automatically generate an email to me saying, hey, this person has asked for some information about your services. From there, the next step is, because I want to have a record of this, I'm going to go into Nimble. I'm going to take that information off of that form, and I'm going to manually create a contact record within Nimble. So wouldn't it be nice if I didn't have to do that second step? And that's what Wufoo does. Wufoo allows me to create that contact form. It allows me to put it on my website, and now when anybody fills out that form, not only am I going to be notified via email, it is also automatically going to create the contact records that are necessary within Nimble, making it really easy for me. I don't have to do anything. It's going to create the record for the person. It's going to create the record for the contact. It's even going to tag that record. So if I want to go back, and if you have not familiar with Nimble, we can make a really nice use of a tagging system within Nimble. It's going to create a tag for me of everybody that's come from my website form into Nimble so that I can look at those really quickly and I can work those really efficiently. So let's see how that's set up. Well, first thing I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you the settings area over here. And this is where you can go in and you can import your contacts, you can set up your networks, you can do all sorts of things. But we have a new one that's called integrations. And right now the only one that's showing up here is Wufoo, because that's the only one that's available. But what's really important here is, before you set this up within Nimble, you're going to want to go down to the support forums. And the support forums are where you can go within Nimble to file a ticket, I mean a troubleshooting ticket, or also to look at tutorials or that will allow you, you're looking at how do I do this or how do I do that. This is where you go. You go to the support forum. But I already have this tagged here. Once you would come into the support forum, you can enter in a search term, you can enter in integration, you can enter in Wufoo, that's W-U-F-O-O, and it would call up whatever articles are on file that might help you out. So here's the screen I'm looking for. New feature, Wufoo integration with Nimble. So what I'm suggesting is that you read this carefully before you proceed. Now, I'm a guy. Traditionally, we're not known real well for reading things, but I'm a little bit out of my comfort zone in doing this, so I made sure to read everything. The critical thing is, first thing you need to do is you need to set up your Wufoo account, and we'll show you where that is and how to do that real quickly. But the reason for that is that when you enable Wufoo within Nimble, you're going to need certain credentials from Wufoo in order to complete that integration. And one of those things is the API key. And there's a link here to find that. But so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to actually set up in Wufoo. But before we do that, what I want to do is I want to take you kind of through and point out a few things on this particular support page. We do have some screenshots. There's a screenshot of Nimble, and here's where it's going to be asking you to enter in the Wufoo credentials, the API key, and then also the URL, which will be assigned to you by Wufoo. It also comes down and tells me how I can set up certain fields within my contact form. The important thing that I want you to look at, and there's certain ones that you can check off. I can say I want to do the name, and I want to do the address, and I want to do the email, etc. Those are pretty standard. But click on this link, and it's going to take you over here, and it's going to tell you what fields will be imported into Nimble, because there may be some custom fields that you might want to put in there. So we're going to take the general name, address, email, etc. But Nimble also recognizes other field names, and it's important that you use, that you use specifically what those field names are. So you may add the following fields to your form. These fields are accepted and be mapped in their native contact fields within Nimble. Now these are the predefined fields within Wufoo. But Wufoo also gives you the ability to create forms, single line text, and edit the name of those forms, and paragraph text. So if I want to do job title, I would enter in job title. I would click single line text, job title. Company name, add field. So those are, and both these field labels are case sensitive. So this is really, really critical that if you want to create fields using the single line text or the paragraph text, that you do it exactly as you find here. Okay. Now in the paragraph text, any field, I'll just tell you right now, any field that Nimble does not recognize, it's going to load that into the description field on the Nimble contact record. So I selected one for paragraph text because I wanted something where people could go in there and they could tell me a little bit more about specifically what they were looking for, and I called it comments. Okay. So what happens now is that when that record is imported into Nimble, their comments are automatically sent to the description field, which is fine for now. At least fine for me, because I can see it. It's quickly. Later on I may change it. Later on, Nimble's going to have custom fields available, where hopefully that's going to be very shortly. But right now that works great for me. So once again, I would suggest that you read through this, set it up as a tab, print it out, whatever, for when you actually go to Wufoo. So I've got a tab set up here. Here's my Wufoo account. Wufoo, first of all, it's going to tell you these are different pricing packages that you can choose. Like Nimble, Wufoo is following what we call the freemium type of plan, where you can actually, if you just want to, start out small, there is a free plan. Guess which plan I'm using? The free plan. It allows for one user, 3 forms, 3 reports, up to 10 fields on the forms, and 100 entries per month. That would be 100 people filling out your contact record per month. Now once you get rocking, your SEO is working great, people are going to your website, then you might want to upgrade to $14.95 per month. It's going to give you 500 entries per month. So, but let's look at how easy it is to set up a form. And I'm just going to come over here into the form section. And here's the form that I have set up. It's, I'd like to learn more about your services. Let's edit it. And here is the same thing that I saw in the Nimble Support Center, where I can choose that I want to add this, this, this. What it's going to do is it's going to take, whenever I click on one of these, it's going to put it over into the actual web form. And this is the way the web form actually looks. Okay. So it gives me the ability also, I can come in here and I can edit any section. I can drag to reorder any section. So once I've got it the way that I like it, I'm just going to go ahead and save it. But what I'm going to do also here is I want to come up here and I want to look at some of these form settings here. The form settings are something where you can come in here. Here's, once again, here's the description here. I'd like to learn more about your services. Please tell us about specific areas of interest. Here's where I can put in, once they've filled out the form, it's going to give them a message. And then, do I want to send a confirmation email to the user? Yeah, that would be pretty slick. Customize the confirmation email. So whenever somebody fills out the form, they're going to get an email sent to them automatically that says whatever you want it to say. Now I just set this up the other day, and I've just got something very basic in here. I will probably come in here, I will probably set this up, maybe link it to my Nimble Partners site. Might do a lot of other different things, but this is what I set up for now, and I can go ahead here and I can say I'm done. And now I'm going to save the form. You can also put in a CAPTCHA if you want. I have it set for auto. You can allow 1 entry per IP address. You can do all sorts of different things, but I'm just trying to make it simple, so I'm going to go ahead and save the form. I can continue editing. I could also set up email notifications for this form. So the email notifications, these are the notifications that come to me. So I want it to come to Craig at Sales Results LLC. The reply is going to be email, and that's basically it. You can also do some customization. For example, when the email comes to me, I know that it came from Wufoo, so it's really easy for me to find those. You could probably even set up a label or a folder within your email and have those automatically go to a specific folder. So once your form is all set up, now we're getting ready to integrate that to Nimble. Okay, I can come back to Nimble, to my actual Nimble account, and this is now when I would go ahead and I would enable that integration within Nimble just by clicking enable. Once you enable the Wufoo integration on Nimble, it's going to ask you for what your URL is, which is assigned by Wufoo, and what for your unique Wufoo API key would be. It'll put that in there. And then as you have multiple forms, you can't have multiple forms within Wufoo. It's going to ask you which form do you want to use to connect to Nimble. And it actually calls up the name that you've given the form. So it's really, really easy. Okay. But now the next step is we need to get it onto our website. Okay, so I'm going to come back here to Wufoo, and I'm going to come back up here to Forms. And I'm going to say, okay, here's that form that I set up. I'd like to learn more about your services. I want to get the coding. I can actually have a short link. I can have an easy to remember URL, but what I'm looking for is the HTML link in my web page. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this coding, right, and I'm going to copy that, boom, and now I'm going to go to my website. Okay, now I happen to use WordPress. So that's about the only one that I can comment on. But if you're familiar with WordPress, you've got something called widgets. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking a text widget. A text widget on WordPress allows me to take whatever kind of coding I want, and I can take that text widget, I can pull it over so it appears on my sidebar, and I just drag one of those over there. I open it up, and I'm going to go ahead and I copy that code directly into my widget, and I save it, and then I close it. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at the website. And right here, there is the widget, or there is my contact form. So let's see how this works here. I'm going to say Fred Smith. We just got to do some basic information. And we're going to say Smith Industries. And I'm going to put an email. I'm going to use another email address that I have, actually from a company I'm no longer associated with, but I still have the email address, so I use it for tests. You can put in the phone number, the website, the address, comments. I'm just going to say this is a test, and I'm going to go ahead and submit it. So success, thanks for filling out your request. Well, isn't that cool? Well, wait a minute, what do we got over here? I just heard my email click up here. Let's go ahead and let's refresh my email here. Oh, from Wufoo. I got something from Wufoo. Oh, Fred would like to learn more about my services. This is a test. Well, let's go back to my inbox. Okay, this is Fred's email address, which was sent to me. There, Fred has been notified that he's, hey, I got your message. I'm glad you're interested in our services, and I'll be back to you shortly. But now let's go to Nimble. And I'm going to go back to contacts, and I'm going to say recently added. Let's see here. Oh, Fred Smith with Smith Industries is now a Nimble contact record. And it's just as easy as that. And there is Smith Industries. I gotta come back to my contacts here. And actually I'm going to do a refresh here. And look what we got here. I have, when I set up on Nimble, I said, when you pull in one of these records, I want you to set it up with a tag called Wufoo. So now I click on my Wufoo tag, and there's Fred. So that's it. That's as easy as it is. Hope you were able to follow along with me and enjoy once again the first of what I think will be many integrations. You take care. Bye now.